Fulham up next for Manchester United at Old Trafford after two great performances against Arsenal and Manchester City. Can Manchester United keep it up and get a win against Fulham at home? Now, one of the big things I want to say going into this game is since Christmas, Fulham have won the third most informed team in the Premier League. I think it's United, Arsenal, and then Fulham. So they're a team that's in great form. But listen, Manchester United are on a great bit of form themselves, convincingly beating Manchester City. And in the manner that we defeated Arsenal was quite impressive in my opinion. I think the way in which we managed the game and ultimately got the 3 points. Now, Fulham is kind of the biggest test, I would say, because we know United can turn up and the way in which we did against the big teams. Can we do it against a team who's probably going to most likely sit in and try and defend deep and ultimately hit United on the counter attack? That is the biggest question. What do we do in possession with our shape? Is the biggest question. But going into this game, listen, there's no other kind of way to be confident about this. I think Manchester United are in great form. I don't think we've lost in the league for quite a while now. We've had quite a few draws though in there. Obviously undefeated in the last two. Fulham. They've had some good wins. They beat Brighton. They got a draw against Liverpool at home, so they're not a bad team. They haven't kept a clean sheet in six of their matches, and their away form isn't great. So I think that's definitely something Manchester United will look to capitalise on. In terms of team news, obviously we had the breaking news. Was it Tuesday that Dorgu will be out for 10 weeks? So obviously he's someone who will not be out of the team straight away. Delit's still out. Xerxes still out, I believe. So everyone else is back available for contention. Now, this game, listen, it's going to be a different sort of game. You need the correct profile in this game. Fulham, listen, we played them earlier at Craven Cottage. I remember that. It was Cunha up top. It was Mount, Bruno and Burmo. It was actually a decent game by United, and we should have won the game. It ended up being 1-1. Bruno Fernandes missed a penalty. Now, in then, obviously, it's two totally different teams. Fulham are very, very good. We know the way in which they play, powerful. They like to put crosses into the box. They've got very physical strikers in Raul Jimenez. They've got good defenders. But they do concede quite a few goals. And I think in terms of this Manchester United team, obviously our last starting 11 was Lamont in goal, back four of Dalot, Delit, Martinez, Shaw, Kobe Manu, Casemiro, Ahmad, Bruno, Dorgu and Mbumo. Now, listen, Amelia, I don't see any obvious changes. I mean, you could potentially, again, just see Mazraoui come in for Dalot, but again, I don't think that's a change that needs to happen. I think Dalot actually played all right against Arsenal. So I don't see a reason to change that. In terms of the back four, listen, Maguire's on his best form this season. Obviously, he's been out for an injury for a while, but you can see he's definitely someone who's rated at this team because when he is fit, he does play games. And I think the experience that he has, the quality, and especially in a game like this, I think Fulham, they are quite a physical team. I think they are going to put a lot of crosses into the box. So I think having someone like Maguire, he's very good aerially. It's obviously will be a benefit. In terms of Martinez, Shaw next to him, it's been quite impressive to be fair to see Shaw's form. I think he had a good game against Arsenal. So did Martinez as well. After that own goal, but yeah, listen, I think that would be the back four I'd go for. Obviously, Lamont's in goal as well. I'd keep the same midfield. Manu again covered the most ground in the game against Arsenal. It was very impressive. This is going to be a game which I think we rely on players like Manu to kind of progress the ball through and make those line breaking passes into the final third. Casemiro as well, I think, again, one game a week, he'll be ready to play this game. You need him in midfield. They've got players like Sanderberg, Iwobi, who are very powerful runners. Harry Wilson as well, who I'll talk about in a moment. They've also got Smith Rowe in there. So they have got decent midfielders and physical players as well. But I think Casemiro main, obviously Bruno would be at the 10. I think we are starting to see the real best of Bruno in that number 10. The 15 goal contributions this season. Ever since he's gone into the 10, he's looked very, very good. He's been able to pick up half spaces and play it in terms of possession in a 4-4-2 very, very well. And I think that's a position that does suit him. And we've known that. And then obviously the front three, I think, listen, Sesko is the interesting one because do you bring him in? Fulham, again, at Old Trafford, they're going to defend very well. And I think what Sesko did well against Arsenal, which did go unnoticed, he had a big part to play in that Cunha goal. He chested the ball down, I think it was to Bruno into Manu into Cunha, then United ended up scoring. I think I just prefer sort of the Mbeumo in that position now, and you can't really drop him. He got a goal against Arsenal, a goal against City, and I think he's looked very comfortable in that position. I'd go Ahmad on the right, and I'd bring Cunha in on the left. Now, what is interesting is, again, Mason Mount. We do have options there. But I think Cunha will be the guy to come in. Again, got the winning goal against Arsenal. It's unfortunate that Dorgu's out because I think you do miss his pace and athleticism down that side. And I think he is actually a very key player for Carrick. I think for Cunha, you have to he likes to play inside. So when we are out of possession, going into that 4-4-2 narrow structure wouldn't be a problem for him. And I think that's something that has really worked, to be honest. And I think that front three is very, very good. I don't think we've actually ever seen that front three, Cunha and Burmo, Ahmad. I think Ahmad did have a quiet game against Arsenal, but I think in a game against Fulham, you're going to need him to kind of break down the team, put crosses into the box. I think the creativeness of Ahmad with players like Burmo, Bruno, Shaw, Cunha running into the box will be very, very good to have. So that is my team there. Now let's talk Fulham. Obviously, their star player this season has been Harry Wilson. I think he's got 8 goals this season and 4 assists in the league. He's a very, very good player. Scored a free kick towards the end of the game against Brighton to win the game. He's in just a great moment in his career, and I know he's always a player that's had quality, but he has been a real standout for them this season. Top of their goal scorer, top of their assist, as I just said. In terms of Fulham now, Harry Wilson is a danger, as I just said, but I think Luke Shaw, listen, he's had some tough opponents this season. Semenyo against Bournemouth and against Manchester City. The one against Bournemouth he didn't do so well against, but the one against Manchester City I thought he defended him very, very well. He obviously faced Saka last week, who again did get past him a few times, but I think the doubling up of Dorgu did help. I think in a game like this, Harry Wilson is someone who obviously likes to cut on the inside, so he's going to be someone who will look to use that left foot, and I think that's something that Shaw has to kind of monitor and force him just on the right foot because we know where his strengths are. In terms of Fulham as a team this season, goals conceded 1.4 goals conceded per match, which is actually better than Manchester United, who concede 1.5 goals per match. In terms of goals scored, 1.4 goals scored for Fulham, and I think it's 1.8 goals for United. So listen, there's going to be goals in this. I think Manchester United are a team who have scored goals this season, 3 against Arsenal, 2 against City, especially under Michael Carrick. So there's going to be goals in this. It's going to be an exciting game because Fulham are a very decent team. I watched them against Liverpool. They got a wicked goal at the end to get the job done. But Marco Silva has them playing a pretty good way. And again, but you look at United. In the last 3 games against Fulham, it was that Martinez goal. The Martinez goal that got the job done for United in the league last season. Then we got knocked out to Fulham in the Cup on penalties, and then we obviously drew to them at the start of the season. So listen, in terms of form at Old Trafford, the last time we played them at Old Trafford in the league, it was that 1-0 goal, Xerxes' debut. And that was the last time we played them at Old Trafford. So we did win the last time. Again, our form at Old Trafford this season has been pretty good, to be fair. At home, we played 11, won 6, drawn 3, lost 2. So our home form has been pretty good. And I think the fans are going to obviously be buzzing after that game against Arsenal, and they're going to really kind of use that. Now, in terms of Fulham, again, their away record, isn't the greatest. If you look at their away record, 11 games, 3 wins, 2 draws, 6 losses away from home. Majority of their points, over half of their points have been picked up at home. Their away form isn't great. If you look at their home form, they've won 7. You look at their away form, they've only won 3. So their away form is considerably worse, and I think that's something where United at home have been very, very good this season. I predict Manchester United to get the job done. In terms of key players for us, I do think Mbeumo is going to be someone who we rely on again. I think obviously utilising players off the bench as well, with that being Sesko, Mount, potentially Xerxes being back, potentially Shea Lacey now with Dorgu being out, will be quite influential because you look at the last game, Cunha come on, got the winning assist against City. Obviously the same substitution, Cunha come on, got the goal against Arsenal. So subs have played a part for United in that aspect, but I think United should definitely take the games to Fulham, and I think that's something that we will do. Fulham are definitely there for the taking. They've scored 7 set-piece goals this season, which is not bad. But again, they are a very decent team, and Harry Wilson, as I said, as well as other players, is a player to look out for. I think it's a big game for Carrick. He will relish the occasion. It is only his second game at Old Trafford, but I'm interested to see how United break down a more lower or mid block, a team that they're going to allow United to have possession. What we're going to do now in possession structure. What I do expect is to see whether in this case, are you sure? I expect Shaw to be bombing forward, and maybe Delo, Maguire and Martinez making it a back 3 with pushing players forward, getting players on the overlap, putting crosses into the box. And ultimately, I'm going to predict a Manchester United win. I'm going to go 3-1. I expect goals in this game. United have scored a lot of goals this season. Only Arsenal and Manchester City have scored more goals than them this season. It's been quite an emphatic season, and I do expect Manchester United to get the job done against the Fulham team. I'm going to go 3-1. Let me know your thoughts. That has been your preview. Predicted team as to go through it again. Lamont in goal. Dallo, Maguire, Martinez, Shaw, Casemiro, Mainu, Bruno, Cunha, Ahmad and Burma. So the only change, if we're being picky, not if we're being picky, the only sub that we have to make is Dorgu out. Whoever comes in, whether that's Mount, whether that's potentially you move Mbeumo to the left and you bring Sesko in, I don't know, but I do expect Cunha to come in. Let me know your thoughts. Again, another change that you could potentially make would be Dorgu. What do I keep saying, Dorgu? Mazraoui coming in at right back for Dallo, but I just think based on that performance, I don't think Dallo deserves to be dropped, in my opinion. But let me know your thoughts. Peace.